When you first start out on your personal finance journey, it can be quite confusing. The end goal is financial independence or financial freedom, but depending on where you are at, it can mean a lot of different things to you. At the very least, you want to get to a point where you won't be making decisions solely based on money. You won't have to take a job you don't like just because it pays better. You won't have to choose the cheaper option every time just to save money. We all want to be at a point where we won't constantly be worrying about money. So this video will go over some simple steps you can take to be financially free. One thing to note is that these steps are simple, but reaching financial freedom isn't happening overnight unless you win the lottery. Step 1. Create an emergency fund. If you already have an emergency fund, you can go to the next step. Chances are, most people watching this video are at a point where they are making enough money to cover the bills, but you are not saving enough. You can survive, but you are dependent on your job, and if you don't get paid, you might not eat. This is very common for those who graduate college and just recently entered the workforce. They have a bunch of student loans and not much money saved up. If you don't know what an emergency fund is, it is a bank account set up to cover large unexpected expenses like unforeseen medical expenses or unemployment. It isn't money you save up to go on a vacation. There are two big reasons why you want an emergency fund. The first reason why you need one is because it keeps you afloat during tough times without relying on credit cards or high interest loans. Those tough times will come because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. You don't want to get into even more debt during those tough times. The question now is, how much should you save? The short answer would be 6 months worth of expenses. The long answer is that it all depends on your financial situation. It is a good rule of thumb to have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses in that fund. You can start small, but please just start and build it up over time. Even just having $500 in that emergency fund is a good start. As for where you want to put that money, you should put it in a high interest savings account. I'm not going to cover which high interest savings accounts are the best in this video, so if you want to know about that, check out Graham Stephan's channel since he has a lot of information on that and other great videos on personal finance. The other reason why you want to create an emergency fund is because it changes your mindset. You can finally feel like you have some control in your life, and you can get out of that living paycheck to paycheck life. Step 1B. Find another source of income like a side hustle. I have this as a B step, since you can skip this step for now and go back to it some other time. I still strongly recommend doing this step, even though you can skip it. While saving money is good and all, you can get to your financial goals even faster if you earn more money. So what is a side hustle? A side hustle is a way to make extra money outside your day job. If you can start a side hustle that earns you an extra $500 or $1,000 a month, it can go a long way. There are many side hustles out there, and I recommend starting one that you like. If you can turn one of your hobbies into a side hustle, that's great. If you need some ideas for side hustles, I made a video on side hustles, so you can check it out in the card above or the end screen. Step 2. Start paying off your debt. If you made it to this step, you're already doing better than 78% of Americans. A majority of Americans live paycheck to paycheck and has become the norm somehow. Debt is a huge problem since it eats away at your monthly income and how much you can save. All those payments on things like student loans, car payments, mortgages, and other loans add up. If you don't pay off your debt as quickly as you can, you might feel like you're stuck with it and it's impossible to pay off. If you can pay off those loans quickly, you will be saving a lot of money from avoiding interest. Besides saving more money and earning more money, this is the step that will get you the most progress towards your financial goals. As for how to tackle your debt, there are 2 great routes you could take. The first option is to take down the loans with the highest interest rate first. This is usually the smarter and more logical choice, since it saves you more money. The second option is Dave Ramsey's debt snowball method, where you take down the smallest loans first. Just by looking at it logically, this method seems worse than the first one, but this method takes into account human behavior. By taking out the smaller loans, you become more motivated to take out the other loans, and you build momentum. If you are more emotionally driven, the second option might be the move for you. Step 3. Start a retirement fund like a 401k or a Roth IRA. You probably heard from all your friends and family that you should start a retirement fund, and you know you should do it, but you might have never really got around to it. The thing is, you really should try to start one ASAP. Compound interest adds up quickly, and the earlier you start investing in your retirement fund, the faster your money will compound and you will earn more money. Search up an online compound interest calculator and play around with the numbers. You'll realize how amazing compound interest is. As for what to invest in, if you don't want to pick individual stocks, you can simply invest in index funds and ETFs. Obviously, there are many variables that will affect your investment strategy, like your age, income, how much money you want when you retire, and how much risk you're willing to tolerate. So there are many different ways you can invest. If you're younger, you can go for riskier investments to make more money. Just make sure to start a retirement fund and contribute the max every year, or close to it if you can. A quick disclaimer: please do your research before you invest. I am not a financial advisor, I am just some guy making YouTube videos. Step 4. Try to consume as much personal finance information as you can at your own pace. There's a lot of information on personal finance I didn't cover in this video, since there's a lot more to personal finance than what I said in this video. There's a lot of great books, podcasts, and YouTube channels out there that can teach you all about personal finance. Even if you are pretty knowledgeable in the field, I think it's worth reading, watching, or listening to personal finance stuff. It can remind you of what your financial goals are, since it's easy to get distracted by all these shiny new products that come out every year. You can also learn some investing tips and tricks that you can apply to earn more money. Before I end this video, I want you to know that you don't have to follow this plan step by step. Some people may choose to invest their extra cash first, instead of paying off debt first. The logic behind that is that if your rate of return on the investment you're considering is higher than the after-tax interest rate on your debt, you can make more money by investing before paying off debt. The plan I laid out in this video is more emotion-driven, since having debt can feel like a huge emotional burden. If having debt affects your peace of mind, then even if investing first can make you more money in the long run, you should get rid of the debt. Sacrificing your mental health for some extra money isn't worth it. If you are more logic-driven and you don't really care about debt, go run the numbers and see which option can help you come out on top. Once you get started with creating an emergency fund and you start paying off your debt and investing, you are on the road to financial freedom. The road there will take a while, but it's not as complicated as you think. Keep going at it, and eventually you won't have to worry about money ever again. Should I do more videos on personal finance? Leave a comment below and check out the video shown on the end screen about side hustles you might want to try out to earn some extra cash every month.